G'day and welcome to the Country Rugby League Show. Paul Arundel and Jeff Stevenson back. Where have we been?
Well, I think the AFL have that week off before the finals. I think we've had our couple of weeks off before the finals, just to reset, fix up some niggling injuries and stuff.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest, I've been in the sick bed. You've been waiting to play. I've been
on the bench.
Yeah, waiting. So
that's right. Fighting fit. Everyone's COVID-free, healthy. Everyone's okay.
Yep, and nobody missed us.
There weren't any complaints that we weren't back on. Anyway, we're here anyway.
Did you get up to anything in the couple of weeks I've had off?
Actually, I did. Last week I went and watched the C-grade semi-finals for the Newcastle and Hunter Rugby League.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I couldn't watch them all because they go from about 10 in the morning till about midnight. For those who watch that. It's fantastic down at Carl Oval at Belmont. Yep. And... yeah, watched the Dora Creek win.
Oh, yep.
And the Awabakal team, I think, win. So they went on
nice.
to yeah. So anyway, that was me. But a great community event because you get these semi-finals, as people will see right through regional rugby league.
Yeah.
There's all sorts. There was the ladies league tag, and then there was the C grade, and there was I think the under 18s and that kind of stuff. And there's just a carnival atmosphere down there.
Oh, it's great. And I think they got 2 days of it up at Lakeside next weekend, Saturday, Sunday. So
there's a lot of
two
people.
fields.
By the time you get everyone and their families and the fans and that kind of stuff, there's huge crowds there.
Yeah, it used to. Well, a few years back now, in another life, used to be on the board of that competition, and you always wanted a Gloucester or a Dungog to make the grand final because you knew that would bring an atmosphere.
Okay. Yeah, well, it was fantastic entertainment.
Yeah. Good stuff, mate. Well, I was bedridden for a while, and then when I did get better, I was back to work doing my normal stuff, so nothing really exciting. But we're back here.
Yep, we're on. And
straight into semi-finals.
Everything's looking bright ahead of us, isn't it? Yeah, there's rugby league. There is semi-final rugby league happening. If it's not happening already, it's happening in the next few weeks, right around the state and states of Australia, so it's fantastic.
We'll get into a few of the highlights. We'll start off with Group 7, and the Stingrays put on a big score against Milton Ulladulla, 60-0.
Yeah, and being mindful of the top of the ladder, it's quite congested right at the end of the season at the moment. Stingrays really had to come up with a win, so did Jamberoo. Yeah,
Jamberoo 48-6 over Berry Magpies. Another beautiful day down there at Jamberoo.
Yeah. Berry's at the other end of the table too, trying to avoid the spoon.
And Warilla, they had a massive win, 60-0, also over Nowra Bomaderry. You can just certainly, it sort of reflects the NRL a bit. The top teams had big wins over the bottom teams.
Yeah.
Gerringong 54-16 over Albion Park.
I don't know how mindful they were of it, but the for and against is going to be important.
Yeah.
So they were all kind of maybe fighting for that as well.
And the final game was the feature match. Shell Harbour, this was an upset, 48-28 over Kiama. Plenty of points scored in that game. But Shell Harbour, they're out of the race. The top five's pretty much all sorted. The only one there is maybe the Stingrays can pop into that top three.
Yeah. Like you see there, the points differential is quite spaced out there. I'd say one of them some of those thrashings I would have been hoping the other teams weren't doing so well, but everyone kind of did well on the weekend, unfortunately for some.
Yeah, so that was round 17 of the Group 7, and round 17 of Canberra Rugby League. Queanbeyan and Roos hosting West Belconnen. The Roos led here with this try here, 22-12, and you think, well, they're going to wrap it up here, but West Belconnen had a great fight back. They score this try here to, give them a chance to tie the match.
Yeah, off a kick.
The Roos were on the defence, and then this is the kick. Ron Roberts, he normally just puts them over blindfolded, and that's
just
the result.
The pressure, I don't envy him in that scenario.
So 22-20, the Roos over West Belconnen. Then Tuggeranong, they had a field day against Goulburn City. This is one of the tries of the match of the weekend. Tuggeranong winning 62-10, and they pretty much had a bit of fun there towards the end with that great try.
Yeah, Goulburn City's sort of form has faded as the season's gone on.
Yeah, and here the Blues, they picked up another 2 points, 34-14 over Yass. And the final one here, the upset maybe of the season, 28-12, Gungahlin over the ladder leaders, Woden Valley.
At home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Now, the table there, apparently Queanbeyan Blues, they've lost 3 points there, so they're back on 19. So the match, 2 important games this weekend. Tuggeranong have a chance to win the minor premiership, and so too does West Belconnen, while Woden Valley, they sit idle on 22.
Yeah, similar ladder to Group 7, like very congested at the top, but there's still, it's really just a matter of who's going to be playing where in the final series.
Yes, so the final round of Canberra Rugby League this weekend, it should be an absolute ripper. And another one, final round up at Sunshine Coast, Maroochydore had the win over Biwa, which pretty much wrapped up the minor premiership. I think they wrapped it up a couple of weeks back there, but a good win for the Swans, 20-12 over the Bulldogs. Kawana, they got the win over Nambour, a tough win.
Important win.
Yeah, 22-18 to wrap up second place. And Caloundra and Caboolture. Caboolture getting the points, 26-12. Good little try here.
Great offload.
Somehow they kept it alive and just wrestles your way over, so well done there. And the final one here, Gympie, 46-24 over Noosa. Gympie, they put a few together towards the back end of the year. They got off to a horrible start.
Yeah.
And Gympie wearing the Hunter Mariners jerseys. Don't make the top 4 this year, but they might be better next year.
Yeah, finish strong.
So there is the top 4, Maroochydore, Kawana, Biwa and Caboolture. That's the final round of the Sunny Coast. And we'll move along to Gold Coast, their final round.
Yeah.
Round 17. And first up, Tugun hosted Southport. And, we're coming from a different angle. We're on the hillside of Boyd Street this time. 20-14 Southport over Tugun. And Currumbin picked up a win here over Ormeau. A good crowd there too at Currumbin's home ground, 30-18. They're all up the other end.
Yeah.
Runaway Bay, 30-18 over Helensvale. A couple of good tries in this one too. You can go to bartvsports.com.au, check out the mini games. And Burleigh, they won the minor premiership with this one over Mudgee Bar, 30-22, but they didn't have it all their own way. They left it late to really seal the deal. Good dive there at the end.
Nice. Yeah, nice finish there. And we look at Ormeau and as a team coming back in, just missing out there. I'm assuming just missing out. And Helensvale, again, they had a bit more fight in them this season as well for a team that usually are down that bottom end.
Yep. So Burleigh will enjoy the week off with the other 4 teams going at it together.
Yeah.
Now finals footy, Newcastle. It was week 1 of the finals, and Central hosted Macquarie, and the Scorps got out to a 12-point lead twice.
Yeah.
Central ran them down, but they couldn't run them down the second time, and Scorps, they move into the second round. Central, they play do or die next week.
Yeah. Scorps have been looking strong.
Yeah, so the Scorps winning 36-18, and Cessnock at home in the Eliminator defeated South Newcastle 26-16. Really good try, this one, keeping it alive. Don't be fooled by the scoreboard there.
Yeah.
So they just kept it alive. A good crowd. Sunshine in Cessnock.
Yep. Oh, look at this. One length of the field to the other, and a kick.
So they play. Started with the 2 and the 3, Brett Mendyke and Harvey Neville, and finished with those 2.
Yeah.
So, great stuff.
Credit to the Lions. Souths have had a patchy year last year. This is their opportunity this year to bounce back a little bit, so that's not a bad result. I think they'd be happy enough to make the finals this year.
And they had a lot of crucial injuries too, which really buggered up their year.
Yeah.
And Illawarra now, it was week 1 of the semi-finals down there, and Collies, they ended De La Salle's first year in the Illawarra competition, 26-12. And Collies will now play in the prelim this weekend. Another good try there in the corner.
Great try. And I've been talking up De La Salle, so credit to them to get there as well. And
Thurul and West, a bit of an upset you might say here, with Western Suburbs picking up the win over the Butchers, 24-8. And Western Suburbs have booked themselves a spot in the grand final at Wynn Stadium in a fortnight.
Fantastic.
And, Atherall, they'll meet Collies next week. Oh, we've got one more try. Looks like the highlights go for a little bit longer here. And, just letting that ball bounce. And
you never know how it's going to go. And got there. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so well done to the Devils. The Butchers will play Collies next week.
Yeah, it's fantastic. You look at all those games, think the amount of foul weather and things that have slowed them down. It's amazing to get to the end of the season without missing too many games.
Yeah. NRRL, here was the prelim. One of the prelim finals was Bilambil against Murwillumbah. Now, most people would have expected the Mustangs to win here, but the Jets got one over their northern rivals here in a real thriller.
Yeah,
at Murwillumbah.
Low scoring.
Yep, 14-10, Bilambil over Murwillumbah. And this is the other prelim here, Evans Head. They got out to a 20-6 lead here in the first half. A good crowd up there at Red Devil Park too.
Yeah.
And to lock it up here, it's 20-all. Todd Carney will kick a field goal here, and you think that on the clock there's 5 plus injury time.
Yeah.
And this is the weird way to finish the semi-final. They kick a field goal to level things up. No, it wasn't Terry Lamb who kicked that field goal. And here's another one to win it.
To win it. The crowd, I mean, it's a away game for them. You can see the crowd going wild there. What a finish.
So Evans Head will now meet Murwillumbah in the prelim to find out who plays Bilambil in the grand final.
Yeah, and Byron's out.
Byron's gone.
What a way to get out. Yeah. You don't get a second chance.
Poor old Coogin. They were the number one team last year. I know that was last year.
Well, I know, but we talked about them all year. They're looking strong.
And, they one mistake in the playoffs and they're gone.
Yeah, so far out. Oh, it's rugby league.
So that was all the highlights from the weekend just gone, if you needed a recap. But, there's still plenty of footy left in us yet in 2022.
Yeah, bring it on.
Well, let's go to around the groups. There'll be heaps happening since we
There is. There's so much semi-final stuff. I thought I could spend an hour talking about semi-final stuff. So I thought I'd avoid actual match play, gameplay stuff because there's great, although there's a little bit in there, but some great stories out there of teams that have struggled over the years that have made semis and that kind of stuff. I will bring up the Snowy River Bears because they do hold a place in my heart. They're like my first girlfriend. You know, they're still got a piece of my heart in there. They came back last year. For those that weren't watching listening and watching the Shed last year, they came back after 30, 40 years hiatus.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Their reserve grade team made the semis this year and have won a semi this year. So they go on next week. I don't know who they play, but they beat Bateman's Bay 38-12.
Yep.
So I think it was the under-18s might have made or just missed out on the finals as well. So I just think it's a really good story of a team that isn't one of those teams that just comes and goes every couple of years.
Yeah.
Not naming names of clubs, clubs that come and go, because they just can't get numbers up. This is a team that was dead, a couple of years ago. It was just a piece of history. So it was a real credit to them. They're not just getting players on the field, but performing well. Off the field, the Snowy River Bears have been helping out. This kind of speaks to, I think there's a lot of people from City saying, we know what to do in the bush, and we know. Sometimes the bush knows what they're doing, and there's no kind of...
It's all right. I'm just writing notes for myself.
Yeah, sorry. Otherwise, it's like a code. What have I said? If I said something wrong? But like only locals know what's local. What's going on.
Yep.
Snowy River Bears helped out a few previous players and a few supporters who were having a hard time of it down that way by having a day of chopping up firewood and delivering it to them.
It's brilliant.
That's great. And I just thought, for those people, if you're having a hard time of it, and it's freaking cold down there, that's probably the best thing they could ever do. But also that the club thinks of them and thinks of this and thinks, why don't we do that? And it'd be a club that was just missed the season's over at silly Sunday time and that kind of stuff. And they're like, no, let's just go out and help some people that need it more than we do, kind of thing.
Yeah,
so,
well done.
Again, having said that, like Ivanhoe, this is what I mean. Like the NRL want to come in and take up their little pathway areas and stuff like that. And I'm like, would they think of firewood? Does the NRL ever think? Does they ever think like Manly go, let's go and get some firewood? This is the stuff that you need to accept. It's what the locals know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know how to do the local thing. Ivanhoe early in March actually had a goat drive. I don't know what that means, but so that's what I mean. I don't know what it means.
Yeah.
Everyone in Ivanhoe are listening. Go, well, what are you talking about? We know what a goat drive is. Don't you guys have goat drives? I just think it just touches on that uniqueness in regional rugby league and regional sport, but also that uniqueness you can't replicate, you can't fake, and you can't pretend to know about it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Queanbeyan Blues, they lost 3 points for a salary cap breach. So
salary cap breach, yeah. All right.
Don't know much more about that. The Peter McDonald Premiership is now so it's now their qualifying finals.
Okay.
The final two teams, I was always interested at the start of the year to see whether it was going to be Group 10 heavy or Group 11 heavy, because we're not when they merged, we're not talking, what do you call it, like zones. They actually were just, you could have had a semi-final full of Group 10 teams, stuff like that. It's actually perfectly even. There is 2 Group 10 teams, 2 Group 11 teams. Forbes play Orange Sims on the weekend, and they're playing against each other on the weekend. Nice. So it'll be like 10 versus 11 the whole way. Dubbo Sims play Mudgee. So out of those two, probably Forbes are probably the ones that have probably risen a little bit out of the... I don't know how big a club they are, but I know that the Sims teams are pretty big, and Mudgee's pretty big. It's still a very Peter McDonald Premiership sort of way of doing things that we've learned over the few years. That all I've heard is that the final say on where the grand final is going to be is going to rest with the Group 10 board, not the Peter McDonald Premiership officials or Group 11.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't think that the Group 11 people are going to be very happy about that. But again, we're sort of back to
toss a coin at the beginning of the year and say you just get to choose a grand final.
Yeah. But also this is a grand final that's on Saturday week or something. Like it's very Peter. I don't want to bag. I know it's their first year, but it seems to be very much on the fly. Like, oh, we're going to play the grand final. I don't know. Well, you're not playing it there, and geez, can't we make a decision about this maybe earlier in the season? So we will see where it's end up being played. What's decided or what, but there's plenty of good venues out there, and I guess it will probably depend on who qualifies, but I don't know. Old Bar Pirates, just a quick one. They're having their Ladies' Day. It sounds like an awesome Ladies' Day this Saturday. It's for the McGrath Foundation. It seems like it's going to be pretty big. It's probably not a bad idea. It must be their last round up there to do something like this. So if they do them early in the year. The game day, for $30, a lady will get a sectioned off area and 4 hours of champagne.
That's pretty good.
Which makes me want to put on a dress and rock in there.
Might have shave there too, mate.
No, well, I don't think after a few champagnes no one will know. No one will have a clue. Like 4 hours, I don't know, is it unlimited? I don't know. Anyway, and they've got a charity ball on Saturday night. 2 courses, again, $35. 2 courses, finger food. They're having Tracy Bevan, Michael Bev's wife come up, and Andy Saunders, who's, I don't know who that is. But anyway, it sounds like a really good cause and, good day.
Yeah, so find out any more info, I guess you go to the Facebook page.
Get on the Old Bar Facebook page. I think you need to book ahead. I think they're kind of hinting that it may sell out. I reckon, like, seriously, what is it, $30 for 4 hours of champagne? It may sell out and then some. So not the... Look, drink responsibly, people, and enjoy the day. But no, I like it when they're not. It's sort of good value on that kind of thing.
Well done to Old Bar.
Yeah, so anyway, that's pretty much, like I said, they could have kept going on and on about some great stories out there in semi-final land as we're heading around the state and the states. But no, that's me for around the groups.
Nice. Yeah, I've got a couple of little things. We'll just touch on a couple of things that you brought up there. Queanbeyan Blues losing 3 points. That's pretty much cost them the minor premiership.
Yeah.
They're equal with Wade Valley. They would have been equal with Wade Valley on 22.
What I wonder is, like, when they hand out punishments, do they consider that? They're like 3 points would screw them, but let's not make it 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 10 points out of the 3 points is you losing the minor premiership. You're going to probably lose a home semi or whatever, however it works down there. But I did wonder that.
And the other one you talked about, Snow River being in hibernation for 30 odd years.
Yeah.
Just a question that just come out off the top was like, what club, if you could think of any town or club that used to have a team, you bring back to life? Which one? And it just reminded me that Bulahdelah Woodchoppers.
The Woodchoppers.
Yeah, they used to have a team in the Newcastle Second Division. I think not for 10 or more years now. It might even be longer, but they're actually having a reunion. I'll put I don't have the details in front of me, but I'll put them up on the screen. The Bulahdelah Woodchoppers are having a reunion, so maybe they're trying to get
And that's what gets me. Like someone thinks of getting these reunions going, and that can start something.
Yeah.
You know, like they're all sitting around talking to each other and say, "Oh, geez," and there's a lot of kids. I know with Snowy River, there are a lot of kids in the community, and I think they just went, "Geez, why don't we have our own team?" That to drive, 3 hours to Cooma or something.
Yeah.
So it could be the start, and I think it could. Even if it's not, who cares? It keeps it alive.
Yeah.
And we're talking about it now, and there are going to be people at the pub saying, "Who are those guys? Oh, they're wood choppers. Yeah, I remember them." And
great name.
Yeah, it's a great name. I love it, and it's obviously apt for the area up there. And a lot of timber work up there. I don't know whether it's appropriate these days in PC world. We'll call them the Bulahdelah
solar panels.
Solar panels. Yeah, I was thinking one of those things called wind turbines, the Bulahdelah wind turbines. But no, look, we need wood. It's good. It captures carbon, all that stuff. But that's fantastic. Yeah. The more of that, the merrier. I'd love to hear more about those dead clubs that are group. Is it Group 9 has a reunion you're talking about?
Group 13.
Group 13, sorry, yeah. And that kind of thing. It just keeps it alive, keeps people talking, gets the younger generations asking questions about it.
Well, I did see something, they're trying to get Tumbarumba back off the ground. One of the biggest problems with Tumbarumba Club is that they just can't find anybody to run the club.
Right.
So if you're watching this,
well,
and you're moving to Tumbarumba or you live in Batlow, which is just up the road.
And that's where, as much as I've been talking over the years, former NRL players that buy pubs and sponsor teams, I really like how we've now got Ashton Sims, running comps.
Yep.
And that could be another thing.
Yep.
It could be that not captain coach a club, but a former NRL player come down to run a club.
Yeah.
Administer it and that kind of stuff. Like Ashton was the first to really go into administration, from my knowledge, out of a playing career. Not straight to captain coach and then work your way into I'm old now, I'll join the board and that kind of stuff. So I think there's talent in the NRL, the guys that might think, I don't want to play anymore. I still want to contribute. Get them down running a club. Yeah, it's fantastic.
We'll keep going with that. Former NRL players, Ash Taylor, the former Titans halfback. He's found a home at the Newtown Lions in the Toowoomba comp as captain coach for next year. So, good luck to Ash Taylor and the Newtown Lions. I think they were another team that had a couple of rough years.
And we were sort of talking about before we started recording, these players that feel the pressure of NRL and drop out, it's great to see him. He'll probably come and have an absolute ball playing the game again.
Oh, yeah.
The comp will love him.
Yeah.
Like, I like that he hasn't just gone to one of the bigger comps, to be honest, for want of a better term,
Lakeland Piggers or somewhere.
Or, somewhere in Northern Rivers or some club that's got a little bit of money behind them, or some comp that's got a bit of profile kind of thing. So it'll be great profile for the Toowoomba comp.
Yep. And finally, I'm sort of taking over the
I love it. I'm enjoying it.
Murray Cup Grand Final is this Sunday, August 28 at the Glenrowan Rec Reserve.
Nice.
I'm not sure if that picture in the background is actually the Glenrowan Rec Reserve, but it's pretty damn good for
I can't see any Ned Kelly kind of motifs around it or anything, but that's what you'd see, wouldn't it? He was knocked off.
Two games for you: Ladies League Tag Grand Final, CSU Mud Dogs and the Benalla Wolfpack, and then the seniors, the Wodonga Wombats versus Bonjilla Gorillas.
That's going to be a big clash.
Yeah. So good luck to all the teams in that. It's good to see 4 different teams representing the grand final.
Fantastic.
And the Wangaratta Knights, who use Glenrowan as their home ground, they're hosting it. So really 5 clubs involved. So
that's fantastic. And as we saw with the Protein Cup a few weeks ago, those smaller comps doesn't stop them from having amazing grand finals.
Yeah, well, and I was involved early with the Murray Cup. I actually designed that cheap little logo that you see on the Murray Cup. So. It's good to see it keep going. Hopefully, we can get a committee for Tumbarumba and they can bounce back and rejoin the Murray Cup.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic getting back in. But again, also the growth through Ladies League Tag everywhere is fantastic to see. Like, I think it was only when we started recording the Shed, not every comp seemed to have a Ladies League Tag comp. It seems like every comp now has a Ladies League tag comp, which is fantastic. Yeah, well done. Well, that's around the groups, I think. Yeah, got it covered. Yep. So we'll move into the fixtures this weekend. As I said, it's round 18 of Group 7. A couple of big ones there. Probably the one, Jamberoo and Kiama. As I said, Kiama caused an upset there.
it opens the door for Stingrays to get into that top 3.
And at the other end of the table, I don't think Berry are going to overcome Gerringong. There's a few. No. There's two. Is it Berry and who am I thinking of that are fighting it out for the bottom? Is it Nowra? No.
Yeah, Nowra, Milton Ulladulla. Yeah. I think it's Milton Ulladulla. I'll just look for that.
And I think that they're both. Maybe Milton Ulladulla can jag a win there against Nowra and have some hope of avoiding the spoon. But Berry is going to struggle against Gerringong. I think it's going to be they're going to have to do a lot there. But stranger things have happened. Yep. If Gerringong was safely at number 1, at the top, they might have had a chance. But I think Berry, we will see what happens there.
Canberra, round 18, the final round. Gungahlin host Tuggeranong. Now, Gungahlin knocked off Woden Valley, the ladder leaders, last week.
Yeah.
Tuggeranong can win and then hope that the Blues beat West Belconnen. Tuggeranong will be minor premiers.
Yeah. And it's all been played at the same time?
Yes, I believe so. All Saturday, 3 p.m.
Yeah, so there'll be mobile phones and text messages going crazy in between grounds. Back in the day, you couldn't do that. You just have to, see old mate, get him to rush down to a
Or they can subscribe and watch them all.
They could watch it while they're there, couldn't they? I hadn't thought of that. I was like, my God, I'm not very good at my streaming. I always do it at home. I never do it out and about. But, that's fantastic.
Yeah, as I said, the other important game is Queanbeyan Blues v West Belconnen. Now, Blues had that 3 points taken off them for salary cap breach. So West Belconnen, they win, and Tuggeranong loses. Then, West Belconnen will be minor premiers.
Yeah.
Tuggeranong have a better points differential, so they're in the box seat, you would think.
Yeah.
Woden Valley, they're on 22. They've got the bye this weekend, but they don't get points for the bye. So
and
they've just got to sit and hope that it pisses down rain this weekend and they get washed out, and then they'll be minor premiers.
And there'll be, the Blues have got good for and against. It's the only thing going for them this weekend, that if they can jag a win and hope Belconnen loses or Tuggeranong loses, they can climb up a little bit off the bottom.
Yeah, top 4 in Canberra too, so that top 2 finish is pretty crucial.
Yeah. So they've got to hope. They've just got to win, and at least I think a lot of clubs at this point you go, lucky our for and against is good.
Yeah,
they can ride on that. It's going to come down to it's going to be that close for some comps.
Certainly will be. It's a very entertaining comp, the Canberra Rugby League. Sunshine Coast now. It's week 1 of finals footy up there. Top 4 as well. The top. Number 1, Maroochydore plays Kawana. Number 2, that's a qualifying final. Then the elimination final on the Sunday. Biwa hosts Caboolture. Any thoughts there, Jeff? Yeah.
No, Kawana's sort of been carrying a bit of form right through the year, so that'll be...
Well, I was about to ask, have you spoken to your man on the street, Bruffy?
Bruffy, I've not heard from Bruffy. He's not talking. I don't know whether he's deep in their squad and doesn't want to give away anything, but I'd say there'll be a bit of Bruff polish on it, even though he's the reserves coach. I'm sure there's a bit of Bruff polish that you'll see on that against Maroochydore.
Gold Coast, week 1 of the finals, 2 up there. As the Burleigh Bears, the minor premiers. But Southport, 2 take on Runaway Bay, who moved up into 3rd spot. The northern rivals there, so that'll be an absolute cracker.
Yeah, that'll be a close game.
And both being played on Sunday. So, again, Bar TV, subscribe, you'll be able to watch the other one.
Yep.
Tugun hosts Mudgee Bar. So that one is the eliminator. So... the winner of that one will take on the loser of Southport and Runaway Bay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No, 2 good games.
Newcastle, week 2 of the finals. Qualifying final, Maitland v Macquarie up at Maitland Sports Ground on the Saturday. Winner straight into the grand final at Hunter Stadium. And then on Sunday at Townsend Oval, Central take on Cessnock.
Yeah. I reckon you feel like you're looking at the grand final there with Maitland versus Macquarie. Grand final preview.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks' time. That's going to be a cracker of a game.
Yeah, Central got a couple out due to suspension too, so it just opens the door a little bit for Cessnock.
It's a credit to Cessnock to be at this point of the season. They were a bit patchy at the start of the year, and I think we're all thinking, it's not going to be a year for them, but they've come good.
Yeah, so we'll wait and see. A few people ask, why is the Central v Cessnock game at Townsend, not at St John? South's finished 5th. And with Newcastle, each team gets to host a semi-final, whether they're in it or not. So normally normally the 5th team gets to host the prelim final.
Yeah, right.
But this year, as it turns out, Central had a home game last week, and so did Cessnock.
Yeah.
So it's at Townsend Oval, the best local footy ground in Newcastle, in my opinion.
Yeah, fantastic.
Illawarra, it's the prelim final. Collies v Thirroul, the winner, will take on West Illawarra at WIN Stadium. It's going to be an absolute ripper.
Yeah. Well, I won't be able to split them, I don't know, yeah.
And then NRRL, now they split the comp in half. So the grand final, the trophy final, is this weekend. That's the Lismore Derby, Marist Brothers v Northern United in the final, at the trophy final. So good luck to those teams. And then the prelim final, Murwillumbah v Evans Head. The winner of that will take on Bilambil in the grand final.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. And look, a nod to the trophy final, like I've been saying right throughout the year, so you'll get sick of me saying it. 2 Lismore teams at a time when the season started, they were underwater. We're not talking about like muddy and like complaining about like things not being run in the South Coast. They were literally underwater. And like I've said before, players in that team would have lost a lot of things. So everyone in the community lost something.
They're still doing it.
So it's a good little result in a way. It'll be a win for both teams, I think, on the weekend to get to that point.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much it, mate. It's got anything else you want to add?
No, I can't wait to get in front of Bar TV. We're sort of getting the pointy end, so it'll be harder to choose which sort of semi you want to watch at any given time live, and then to catch up with the rest of them later. Oh,
well, the good thing is, too, you can always go and watch it back later on if you...
watch one in full and then mini games, a little bit of that. You know, you can catch up with the rest of them later on in the evening. It's fantastic.
All right, myself, Paul Arundel, Jeff Stevenson, it's time for us to get out of here. We're back after 3 weeks. We might have another 3 weeks off and just come back with a grand final wrap-up or something.
I'll get COVID. Anyway.
All right, it's time for us to say goodbye. We'll catch you next week, hopefully. Yeah.